This episode is brought to you by O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Find the right auto parts, tools, and supplies for your vehicle at O'Reilly's. Anytime you need parts for your car, visit 4734 North Peoria Ave in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The store hours are Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. For your better parts, better prices, visit O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Talk of the Town, back again, episode 6. We got Big Unc, Shea Seals in the building, McLean legend, Tulsa legend. One of the best ever to do it to come out of Tulsa. I appreciate you coming out, Shea. A lot of people know you as a basketball player and also a coach. Coach college for a little bit also. Let the people know about Shea Seals, where you grew up, what area you grew up in, and how you got into basketball.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm fortunate to be here, man. I appreciate you guys inviting me here. You know, I'm born and bred in North Tulsa.
Yes, sir.
You know, so thing about it, I went to Monroe, moved out south for a while, went to Nimitz for a while, and then my mom relocated, came back out north. And so once I got here, I had the opportunity to play football as a freshman at McLean. And the thing about it is, like, when I came back here, Coach Driver was, you know, he was known as that dude, man. You got to pay attention to him. You got to, you know, respect. So I had the opportunity to, you know, learn as a freshman under Coach Driver. And Coach Pitts was our freshman coach. And so worked a little bit under them. And then, you know, as I got to learn, you know, the basketball aspect of it, Coach Bolton was the guy. You know, Coach Bolton was the man that, you know, ran the show in the basketball program. So had the opportunity to learn under two great coaches, Coach Driver, Coach Bolton. But, you know, I really relocated here on the north side back when I was, like, in 8th grade, and then had the opportunity to go to McLean in 9th grade. So,
Gotcha.
You know, came from North Tulsa, moved out south, but then came back home.
When you came back, so when you started playing football, you played basketball. Did you suit up varsity your freshman year of basketball?
My freshman year, no, I didn't. You know, it took a while. It took a while.
And what year was that, 95?
That was, man, that was 90.
90, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Dang.
that was 89, 90.
Yeah, you young.
And so that was the year we won the state championship.
Okay.
But the thing about it is, like, you know, we won the city championship when I was a freshman. Nobody expected that because Booker T had all the dudes. Booker T had
Who was their best player?
Landis Williams, we call Romeo. They had Tony Jones, Mikael Lovett, Rudy Johnson. I mean, they had a really, really good team.
Okay.
You know,
And who did McLean have?
McLean had Antonio Moore.
Okay.
They used to call him Things. Was a baller. You know, he got a, you know, dysfunctional on his left hand, but he handled that thing like it was a full hand.
Gotcha.
That's my dude, man, and he was great handling the ball as a point guard. Had Antonio Reed that was really good. Carnell Mason. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest with you guys right now. I wasn't even the best player on my freshman team.
Gotcha.
Dang, for real?
For real, I wasn't even the best because we had some dudes on that team, and so we end up beating Booker T. They had all the dudes.
Right.
We beat them in the city championship.
Gotcha.
So we were pumped up because we won the city championship, and then, you know, McLean varsity won the state championship. You know, with my man CJ and Brian DeBose, Mike Jameson, Brendan Driver.
I heard Jameson was good. I heard he was. Real
man,
deal.
hey, you talk about a multi-sport athlete,
Yeah.
Mike Jameson, that dude was for real.
Okay.
He killed you on the football field, and then he was a beast on the basketball court as well.
I got you. So your sophomore, junior, and senior years when you started, did you start varsity then?
My sophomore year, I started varsity. So we had a lot of guys, Man, I tell you, so out of 13 players on our varsity team that won the state championship, 11 of them was seniors, and then we had 2 that was juniors, and that was Monk, which was Gary Phillips, and then my man Wilbur Coleman.
Gotcha.
So we had 2 dudes that came back from that state championship team, and we had a bunch of young guys that were just hungry. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about Cordell DeMint, you talk about Antonio Moore, you're talking about Carnell Mason. I mean, a lot of guys that just came in. Paul Rutherford, you know, those guys came in like hungry to be like where those guys. We came off a state championship.
Yeah.
So that was the standard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now we like, man,
You thought that's what it was. Like,
hey, we got to bring it.
Uh-huh.
And so those were the guys that came in after those guys when we had a bunch of seniors that graduated, and everybody was thinking McLean gonna be trash. Because we just only had 2 dudes returning from the varsity team.
Gotcha.
Man, we came back in there, and, you know, young guys, you know, did their thing. We ended up making the state. I think we lost in the quarterfinals of the state.
And that was your sophomore year?
That was my sophomore year. And actually, I started varsity my sophomore year. And that kind of was like the thing that took me to another level.
And what was it? You hit a growth spurt? Because you say you won the best on the freshman. You hit a growth spurt, or?
I did. I mean, I went from AAU, and you know, AAU kind of like builds your confidence.
Right.
You play on a good team. Man, I played well in AAU. Grew a little bit. I think my freshman year I was 6'2". I came back as sophomore like 6'4".
Wow. Okay.
And so
yeah.
Coach Bolton was like, "Damn, boy, you didn't grew a little bit." And so, you know, I could shoot the ball a little bit, and, you know, I was competitive. Like, I never backed down. And so, you know, I had an opportunity to start as a sophomore, which, you know, that boosts your confidence even more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I had an opportunity to play at that level, and Coach Bolton gave me the ultimate confidence because he get on my ass, but he also said, "Well, you got to shoot the ball.
Yeah, you gotta
shoot the ball." You know what I'm saying? So that helped me out a lot.
So your sophomore, let's skip forward to your senior year. How was your senior year?
Like, did you know you was that guy?
Yeah.
You know, Division I offers, you know what I mean, had a chance playing in the league. Did you know you was that guy your senior year?
Well, my senior year, man, I'll be honest with you, because I had already played with a couple AAU teams. I ended up playing with the Tulsa Hawks. The year prior to, I played with the Bixby Express. Bixby Express was a team that was just made up out of nowhere. And it was like me, Landis Williams, Ron Rattler, a couple guys from Booker T, a couple guys from McLean. And we just had just a group of guys, and we competed. Like, we got to nationals. You know what I'm saying? We got to play in state, and we won, and, you know, we got to nationals. And so for me, that boosted up my confidence.
Gotcha.
So going into my junior year, I was like, man, hey, I got to do my thing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I gotta take it to another level. So my junior year, we had another young guy, which was a sophomore. His name was Courtney Alexander. We call him Binky. The man was a baller.
Yeah.
And me and him was, man, we played really well together. And we had complimentary guys, and we had a really, really good team. I mean, won the Green Country Conference at that time. And I think we beat Booker T twice that year. I mean, and they had a really good team. But for us, it was like, all right, we need to win state this year. Didn't happen. We ended up losing the semifinals against Central, which they had like Leonard Jones and Orlando Everett. They had a couple dudes. And Central ended up winning state that year.
Gotcha.
But, you know, my senior year, it was like, okay, I got to take it to another level because I ended up signing with Tulsa early.
Oh, okay.
Is that the only Division I offer you had?
No, man. I honestly, I had man, I went and visited DePaul. I went and visited Oklahoma State. I went and visited Tulsa. I went and visited Seton Hall. I originally committed to Seton Hall.
Okay.
Early. So it was like in November. I committed to Seton Hall. And it was the head coach at the time was P.J. Colissimo.
Okay.
So I get out there, and they take me to the whole Midnight Madness, man. I'm having a blast out there. They take me out to Harlem. They take me to New York. I'm in Manhattan. I'm just like, man, I mean, I'm like a country kid in the big city. Like, man.
Moving too fast
Yeah,
for you.
it's something different for me. So I'm just like, man, I could do this. And so I get back home. And I told PJ Calissimo when I was there, I said, man, and this is at the time where the schools, when they, brought you on official visits, they only brought the kid.
Oh, okay. No family.
Back then, they didn't bring the parents in. Now, like, they bring parents in. Like, you fly in the mom and dad. So I didn't have no guidance. I'm just out there loving it. And I'm just like, I'm coming here, man. I'm loving it. So I'm just like, this is me right here. They were like, you going to take Terry DeHare spot. Terry DeHare was an NBA player getting ready to go to the league. You getting his shots. And I was like, okay, I'm coming. I'm coming to Seton Hall. And so when I actually got there, had a great time, get back home, and had a conversation with Coach Bowden. And Coach Bowden just laid it down on the line to me. He was like, okay, you go out to Seton Hall, things can go well for you, and it'd be great. But if you get hurt or if you're not playing, do you have a support system? Do you got people around you that's going to lift you up when you're down?
For sure.
I was like, I don't think so, man. He was like, well, if you think about Tulsa, because Tulsa wanted me really bad. Tubby Smith recruited me hard, and he was on me. He had just got the job a year before, and he was on me hard, and he was just like, Shea, we want you at Tulsa. We think you can, bring a whole different dimension to Tulsa. I mean, we can get you here. And so I was like, man, I keep hearing, like, man, you got to get out of Tulsa. You got to get out of here.
For sure.
You're going to hear that, and I was like, man, maybe I should get out of Tulsa. And so once I committed, I came back, and then I had a conversation with Coach Piggies. Coach Piggies like, well, what we'll do is have a press conference. You figure out exactly what you want to do. Even though you've already committed to Seton Hall, just announce it to everybody else because you already told Seton Hall that you're coming.
Right.
So just let's have a press conference, and you just say, hey, this is what I want to do. Had a press conference, and it was crazy because I had people that I knew that was like Tulsa supporters. In that press conference, they came into
thinking you was going to commit to TU.
Well, they were thinking I was like going to go to Seton Hall, but they were hoping
that you switch.
Yeah, exactly. So there was some, TU supporters, and I was like, I walk in there, and then I was like, I made my decision. I'm going to the University of Tulsa.
What?
Yeah. So it was.
Without telling Seton Hall.
Yeah. And so when I made that decision, it got out to Seton Hall. They were calling Coach Piggy. They was calling because at the time Coach Piggy was the head coach. He, Coach Bowden had already went to Union, so Coach Piggy was getting called like, "What the hell's going on? He's already committed us. What happened? What? And I was like, man, I just.
So you didn't tell nobody. You just went up there like, man, I can't do this.
I did.
Really?
Last second.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have no regrets.
Yeah.
So
do you have any regrets?
How you handled it?
No. I mean, because what ended up happening was I had a really good freshman year, right?
At TU.
Mm-hmm. The following year, PJ Calissimo took a NBA job.
Yeah, Portland.
He went to Golden State first.
Okay.
He went to Golden State first. And so he bounced out to the NBA. He was in my front room telling me.
He there 4 years.
He telling me, I got a lifetime contract with Seton Hall. Lifetime contract. Like, I ain't going nowhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you ain't going nowhere until the NBA call.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably wasn't going nowhere in college, but NBA call, he was out. He was out the following year.
Gotcha.
And so I was just like, man, I'm glad I made that decision. Right. But, when I made the decision to go to Tulsa, they were talking about Tubby was leaving. And I was like, oh, I'm calling Seton Hall. Hey, I made a mistake, man. Hey, y'all want me back, man? How can I get out this letter of intent? I'm telling them straight up. They're like, we might have to get you, they got to release you, and they, you may have to go to a prep school. I was like, man, I ain't doing all that. So I was just like, man.
Forget it.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with it, man. I'm just gonna stay home.
Gotcha.
So at Tulsa, you have one of the best careers still to this day. All-time leading scorer, jerseys in the Raptors. So of course you made the right decision.
So every time you go in the gym, how do you feel looking up there seeing your jersey?
It's good, man. I'm humbled by it,
Right.
and I see some of the guys that's up there. Steve Harris, one of the best players to ever play at Tulsa, Paul Pressey. I mean, I'm humbled to be up there with those guys.
Right.
And I had a great experience at Tulsa, man. I would never say I regret going
sure.
to Tulsa because
For sure.
I played for some great coaches and I played at home.
Right. Gotcha.
And I had great community and hometown support. When you talk about a support system, people was there for me. People was at those games. I mean, we packed that gym every time I played, man.
And so you had a great career. Draft day your senior year. Walk us through that day. Did you have scouts and whatever telling you, hey, you're going to get drafted, we're going to take you first, second round? Walk us through that day and when you never got that phone call.
Man, I'll tell you this, man. I ended up signing with a big-time agent. It was Advantage International. And, I kind of had, the lower guy that was running the show, right? And he was telling me, all right, you go and play in this pre-draft camp in Phoenix. So, I go out to Phoenix, and I go out and play, and shit, I was one of the leading scorers out there. Played pretty good, and had a good pre-draft camp, and it was just all seniors at the time. And so he was like, you played good. I know you're going to be a first rounder. Let's get you in the lottery. Let's get you in the lottery. And I was like, how do I do that? Let's go out to Chicago. I mean, you played well in Phoenix. Let's get you out to Chicago. I go out to Chicago, didn't really play well, because I looked around and I'm like, man, I see a lot of dudes that, are still trying to work their way on draft boards.
Right.
And I'm looking at myself like, why ain't the top dudes here playing? So I'm just like, man, I'm sitting there playing, and so I'm in my feelings a little bit because I'm like, I think I got some bad advice.
Gotcha.
So I'm out there playing, didn't play well at all. I'm missing shots. I'm just because I'm all in my own mind. Just
I shouldn't be
thinking
here.
too much. Yeah, I'm thinking too much. Like some of the dudes that that should be playing, they there, but they like,
chilling.
oh, I got a pulled hamstring, or I sprained my ankle last week, so they ain't got to play. So it was like a bunch of dudes that was just like, nah, I ain't playing in that. I'll go through the process in terms of talking to teams.
Yeah, for sure.
But I ain't gonna be out there playing. I done did enough, and I was like, damn, I think I did enough. But I'm out there scrapping and trying to, and I was just in my head too much. Didn't play well, and so end up, stock dropped, man. Just in Chicago, they just didn't play well, and a lot of GMs was like, I don't know. Even though they didn't see me the last 4 years.
Exactly.
And even they saw me playing with the USA team.
Yeah.
They didn't see me years.
Right.
But now they, if I don't play well, they think, okay, he's only good as the last time I saw him.
Exactly.
And so that kind of screwed me.
So you draft day. You still thinking I'm gonna have a shot to get drafted, or you kind of knew after Chicago
I thought I had a chance to get drafted, and I told my mom this. I said, Mom, I may get drafted, I may not.
Okay, so
I don't know.
I got you.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm waiting to see. And at the time, I had a place at the DoubleTree. They gave me a suite
Down here in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, over there on 61st and yeah.
Okay.
So I had a suite and I stayed there for a while. It was similar to an NIL deal, but
Okay.
but back in the day, I was done with school, so they can give me a little spot, and I stayed there for a while, and I was there for a few weeks, and then up into draft night, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I don't want a draft party.
Right.
I just let me just hang, just chill, and just see what happens.
Right.
My mom, she's one of those that just want to bring people in, it's gonna happen. She's positive thinking, and she brought a bunch of my family into the suite I had. And it's like, oh, my goodness. So we go through the whole draft, man, and name was never called.
Did you feel embarrassed in front of your family?
I was embarrassed. And I sat there and told my family, I said, man, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know what happened. You know, I'm going to play in the NBA, so I'll figure it out. But, you know, nobody called my name. You know, I just got to figure out what's next. You see what I'm saying?
So then what happened after that?
After that, I got a call from my agent.
You was probably already mad at him because he sent you to Chicago.
I was pissed.
Right.
I got a call from my agent, and he said, hey, these teams want to bring you in. They want you to play Summer League. And I'm like, man, Summer League, man. Well, why they didn't pick me?
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't playing Summer League, but they didn't pick me.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, you done. Fired him. Bam, I was out. Yeah, I fired him. I was like, man, I'm done with you. Done.
Yeah, you got to go.
Yeah. I was like, man, I'll have somebody else help me out because, you know, you didn't let me know what was going on, and I'm in the dark, and, you know, I got nothing. You telling me about some damn Summer League.
Right.
You know, so fired him, got another agent. Got an agent, and then he told me, hey, they're on the phone with Jerry West. Jerry West wants you there. He wants you to play in the Summer League. I said, here we go, Summer League again. Okay. He's like, he really likes you, though. He said, after all of the guys that I've talked to, I think you got a chance with, you know, with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why is that? He said, well, they got 10 guys already guaranteed.
And one of them is Kobe.
Yes.
Okay.
But he also said they drafted 3 guys in the second round. But none of those guys is probably going to make the team. So you got a chance. You got 2 spots there. So you got a chance.
The NBA is carrying 15 at the time.
At the time, it's 13.
13, okay.
Yeah, they were 13. And so I was like, damn, 2 spots, man? All right, it's whatever, man. Just let me know what I need to do. And so he was like, let's go to the Lakers. You got to go to Long Beach, play in the Summer League, and make sure we ready to go when it's time for Summer League to start. So he ended up flying me out to Florida. That's when they had that. Right now it's IMG, but at the time it was Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy.
Okay.
And we used to go out there and work out for like a few weeks right before you go into training camp. And so I had the chance to go out there. Man, it was 3 times a day. You wake up in the morning, you're doing something. Afternoon, you eat. Afternoon, you're doing something. Evening, you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? So it was just really focused on getting you prepared for training camp.
Okay.
So for 2 weeks, I was like out there just grinding, getting ready. I was like, you know, in my mind, they didn't draft me, man. So I got to find a way to make it happen.
Right.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, and when that happened, I ended up, you know, going out to L.A. and we had like a week training camp. And, of course, Kobe was there right along with Derek Fisher.
Okay.
So those are only 2 guys that was like already on contract on the team. The difference between that time is because Dale Harris was the head coach. Normally in Summer League, the head coach don't coach.
Oh, yeah, he on the side watching.
Right. Dale Harris was like, I want to coach Kobe, you know, because it was just coming out.
Also, Kobe played Summer League that year.
That year,
Okay,
yeah. He's
okay.
coming out of his rookie year.
Okay.
So he's going into his second year.
Okay.
So I'm going into my rookie year. So he was like, okay, I need to kind of put my hands on Kobe a little bit, coaching. So Dale Harris was like, I want to coach Kobe in the Summer League. So he had Kobe and he had Derek Fisher. And then we had a bunch of guys that were just trying to make the team.
I got you.
And so when I got out there, the first few games, didn't play much. Didn't have an opportunity. Like, they didn't even put me out there. And so I'm calling my agent like, hey, what the hell?
Right.
Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I ain't going to play, then how can I show I can make the team?
Right.
And he was like, I got you. I'm going to call Jerry West, because Jerry West was the GM at the time. We'll call Jerry West, and we're going to see what happens. So he calls Jerry West. Jerry West talked to him. We're going to give him a chance, you know. So it was like the last few games of Summer League. He told Dale Harris, Jerry West told Dale Harris, put Shea on the floor. Let's see what he can do. He put me out there, man. Shit, I did my thing.
Gotcha.
I did my thing. Couple games, I had like 17, 20, 15, 16. And in the last game, we played against Vancouver. At the time, they had Vancouver at the team. Last game against Vancouver, I started off that thing like 7 for 7. I'm hitting threes, I'm dunking, I'm getting to the basket. And so, really played well.
Right quick before you get going, we got to take a little break, and then we're going to come back.
This episode is brought to you by the fanstop.com and a college t-shirt club. Get new and officially licensed t-shirts, long sleeves, and hoodies delivered to your doorstep monthly from your favorite colleges. Their shirts are super soft. They offer clubs from all around Oklahoma, especially Division I schools, including OU, OSU, and Tulsa, and Arkansas. They also offer over 30 others, mostly Power 5 schools. Be sure to check out all options at thefanstop.com. Fanstop.com is based out of Oklahoma. Go to thefanstop.com and use the promo code T-Town and get 15% off for the first 6 months.
This episode is brought to you by the Smith Family Agency. It's simple. They make sure you have the right insurance coverage on your home, auto, or business. They also have the best prices for insurance in Oklahoma. Call my guy Brian Smith with questions, and he will give you a quick quote. We trust him to always do the right thing for you and your family. Call Smith Family Agency at 918-417-7400 and tell them the Bubby sent you.
Back from break, and finished telling us you was playing against Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. Playing against Vancouver. So, end up, man, I think I scored about, if I can remember correctly, 21 points. Started off the Vancouver, and this is the last game of Summer League. Scored 21 points, but I started off 7 for 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the game was over, and we actually won, and so when the game was over, Jerry West personally came up to me and said, "Hey, love the way you played the last few games. I want to invite you to Veterans Camp. I want you to come. I've always told you I liked you. I want you to be at Veterans Camp." And I said, "Mr. West, I appreciate that, man. I mean, that's big time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it." So right after that, I called my agent. Get on the phone. I said, "Man, Jerry West just told me he want me to come to Veterans Camp." He said, "Yeah, I already talked to him." I guess he had already talked to him,
Gotcha.
like while he was in the stands,
yeah.
And he's like, "But I want you to take this plane to go to Minnesota so you can try to play with Minnesota in Utah." I was like, "Man, are you serious?"
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, cool." I took a red eye to Minnesota, worked out with them for a while, and I was exhausted, man. And I just I was thinking to myself, man, I'm already going to bed camp with LA.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna do
situation from the Arizona to go to Chicago to work out.
Yeah. I'm just like, man, y'all killing me right now, So I went out to Minnesota. I think I played all right, Probably not good enough for them to be like, yeah, let's go, And so they didn't choose me to go with them to Utah, and I went home and I just started working out, resting. But I mean, emotionally I was drained.
Mm-hmm.
I'm busting my tail with the Lakers, and it was like, man, now you want me to catch a red eye, go play at Minnesota, work out with them, and try to go out to Utah, man. I was like, man, okay. So Utah didn't want me. Not Utah, Minnesota. Minnesota didn't want me to go to Utah, so I was just like, all right, well, I'm good. I already, Jerry West said he wanted me to come to LA, so I got a spot. I know I got a chance somewhere. And so
at what moment did you know, I could play with these boys? And also, what moment did you know Kobe Bryant was Kobe Bryant? Like, did you see it during summer school, or you waited to camp, or whatever? You're like, oh, he's going to be one of the best.
Well, soon as vet camp started, I went out to L.A. like a couple of weeks before vet camp. And so if you're ever out there in L.A., they have these pickup games. Mm-hmm. Magic Johnson used to play in these games, and it was at UCLA. So all the NBA players used to, and so I got out there early so I can play in these games. this is when I first saw Kobe. I was like, ooh, this young dude is a baller because dude is 6'7". I mean, he's quick as a cat, and he handled the ball like a point guard.
Right.
And he's athletic as hell. Like, he jumps high, you know, and I've always been used to dudes that size can't really handle the ball and not that quick.
Right.
Exactly.
And so I was like, man, this dude's different. This dude's different. I mean, like, when you talk about, you know, I'm playing against Magic, you know, Magic was kind of slow down, you know, he's more poised, and he's like, Kobe was like fast and like jumping, and I was like, ooh, different type of guy.
You knew he was gonna be special.
Yeah, and then so I was out there a couple of weeks before training camp started, and so when training camp started, you know, I was like, in my mind, I was like, man, I gotta find a niche. You know, I gotta find a niche. Like, I gotta be a defender. I gotta work hard. I gotta, you know, be in the best shape. And so when we started like running, like I was out running everybody. I'm beating everybody in sprints because, you know, a lot of them NBA dudes, they come to camp to get in shape.
Exactly.
They ain't coming in camp in shape. I came in camp like ready to go.
Right.
And so we started in camp, and, you know, I was kind of like a reserve, a sub. I would get out there and, you know, I'm playing against Eddie Jones. I'm playing against Nick Van Exel. I'm playing against Kobe Bryant, playing against those dudes. And I was always matched up against Kobe. And I think that, you know, at times I guarded him well, but at times, you know, he had like a crossover that was, you know, it was tough because he was so quick. But, you know, he was long. And I always felt like, man, if I can guard this dude, I can guard anybody.
Right.
And so, you know, I always kind of took a challenge upon myself, like, man, I gotta guard this dude.
Right.
And then so, you know, we got in training camp, and they finally played me a couple times in preseason. I knocked down some shots. I played well in preseason. You know, and I was just a hard worker. And I think that was one of the main reasons why they actually kept me. You know, you got a young dude that, you know, busting his tail and
Hungry.
Yeah, hungry. You know, and because they had a kid that was on our summer league team that they kind of gave a partial scholarship, not scholarship, but partial contract to, which was James Forrest. You know, at the time, I think the rookie contract was like $300,000. They gave him like $120. So he thought he was in there.
Yeah.
So he goes home, he hanging out, kicking it, and then comes back and, you know, wasn't in shape, and, you know, he thought he was just in there. And they ended up cutting him. Like, they gave him $120,000 and just like, I mean, you gotta go.
Wow.
Then they kept me, and they gave me nothing. You know what I'm saying? They kept me on a rookie contract. So I was just like, okay.
Gotcha.
I ain't mad at you. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
fact.
And
So how many years did you play for the Lakers?
I played 1 year.
Okay.
I played 1 year. And the thing about it is, man, when I signed that contract with the Lakers, I walk in there and I talked to Jerry West. Jerry West said, you probably won't play much. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, we got Kobe Bryant. We got Nick Van Exel. We got Eddie Jones, Derek Fisher. And we also signed John Barry. You know, bunch of guards ahead of me.
Right.
You probably won't play much. He said, but what I want you to do, every day you come into practice, if you got practice at 10 o'clock, you make sure you're here at 8:30, and you're playing against Kobe Bryant one-on-one every day before practice. You got to get better at your one-on-one game. Kobe Bryant got to get better at his one-on-one game. You both got to compete against each other every day. And so I was like, that's my rookie contract. I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I mean, y'all going to have me on the team. I can do that. And I'll be there every morning ready to go. And I'm telling you, like, every morning, me and him going one-on-one, banging.
For a year straight.
Man, for a whole year straight. Every time we had practice, once the season started, you don't have practice much, but, you know, up until then, we banging every morning. We up in there, like, sweating, grinding, going at it. And the guys are walking in, Shaq walking in, Eldon Campbell walking in, Robert Horry walking in. They all seeing us going at it, and they just standing there, like, watching. Because it's at the end of it, you know. We just banging. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what we had to do.
You got you.
You know, before practice started.
Right.
So when did you get picked up on the USA team? Was it out of college or was it after your first year?
Yeah, that was my junior year, man.
Oh, okay.
In college.
Yeah, in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was in '96.
So who was on that team?
On that team, on our team, point guard was Brevin Knight. We had Tim Duncan, Paul Pierce. We had a guy named Maurice Taylor.
Went to Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went to Michigan. Who else we had? We had Toby Bailey. You remember Toby Bailey that played at UCLA?
UCLA, yeah.
Did he have long socks?
Yeah. I think
He had
so.
long socks, but real athletic.
Yeah, I think I know
yeah,
you're talking about. Yeah.
Chauncey Billups was on that team.
Damn, you had a squad.
Man, hey, had a real good squad. And we played against. I mean, the team we played against, man, you think about the team, Hall of Famers. Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Penny Hardaway, John Stockton, Reggie Miller.
Did you hold your own?
Oh, man, I was out there going at them dudes, man.
We can go on and on about that story. So give us two.
No doubt.
Give us two practices, or when y'all played them, or even when y'all was practicing, like you was like, oh shit, this different. Like,
Man, I tell you what, we practice, and I tell you, Scottie Pippen and Grant Hill, those dudes 6'7", 6'8", long and athletic. I mean, those dudes is like cat quick, man. I mean, like when you go through your college experience, everybody that's taller than you is probably a little bit slower than you. You know what I'm saying? Or can't handle the ball. Those dudes were like, on another. I mean, and Penny Hardaway too, of course. I mean, those dudes. You looking up at them dudes, and they like cat quick, can shoot the ball, and athletic.
Pros.
And all that. Man, I mean, tell me.
Yeah.
So, I'm out there 6'5". I'm standing up under them dudes, just trying to stay in front of them. I mean, and then actually Karl Malone was on that team too.
Gotcha.
I mean, they had that big time squad. I mean, we practice against them a little bit, but I mean, when you see, and also Gary Payton was on that team too, so I forgot. But they had some,
Gotcha.
legendary dudes on that team, and when you go out there and see the way they play, it's nothing near what you're used to competing against. You see what I'm saying?
And so after that, fast forward your career a little bit, you got into coaching. Your first job was at McLean,
Yep.
Booker T. So and you left McLean to go to Booker T. As a 918 legend, McLean, did you receive any slack from leaving McLean to go into your rival,
Man,
Booker T?
I was I was just at McLean earlier today, man. I was talking to my man PJ, Coach Johnson, which is the AD over there, and we talked about this. Man, he kind of pulled me aside, and he asked me, because I was volunteering at McLean for a while.
Okay.
You just
head
volunteer.
coach or assistant?
No, as assistant.
Okay.
So I volunteered a couple years with Piggies. Piggies was my senior year coach.
Right.
And so whenever I wasn't playing, I come over here and help him out. And so when he said, I'm about to retire, you want the head coaching job? I said, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I? I mean, this is my alma mater, man. I want to help the place where I come from, man. So he's like, I'm going to make it happen. So, we had a couple good years, man. And so I had a conversation with Coach Johnson. He was like, Booker T calls me. And so I'm just like, that's just a rival, man. That's just like really? Y'all really call? I mean, y'all want me to come over there? And I think they wanted someone else, and I don't think it happened. And so I was kind of like the backup to that.
I got you.
And so when they said, okay, that didn't happen, well, let's try to get Shea.
Right.
And they said, you want to come over? The thing about it is I was coaching a couple, because I was coaching AAU at the time.
Okay.
And I coached a couple Booker T guys, Nick Harris, Coach Harris's son, Brian Harris. I coached a couple of those guys. And then I had some couple McLean guys that was on my AAU team as well. And so, being at McLean, that was home to me. That's where I'm comfortable, and that's just me. When they called, and I was like, I don't know, man. I pondered the decision for a while, you know, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can do it. Had a conversation with, you know, Coach Johnson, and he was like, well, what do you want to do? I said, man, eventually I want to coach college.
Right.
You know, I don't have a chance. He's like, do you think
Booker T will help.
you going to get there from McLean, or you think you going to get there from Booker T? Like, which one did you think going to help you? I said, well, you know, Booker T has a little bit more notoriety, you know, like a little bit more prestige to it. He was like, "But you answer your own question then. You got to do what you got to do." So I was like, "All right." So I go to Booker T, and yeah, I got some flack.
Did
I
you?
mean, yeah, just to let you know, yeah.
From some of your homeboys?
Just, you know, people classmates, people I know.
What about CJ? He give you any?
CJ ain't give me no flack,
Oh,
man.
okay.
But the thing about it, though, it's like, you know, and it's okay. I mean, they gave me flack.
But you had to do what's best for Shea.
Yes. But the thing about it, a lot of people that's giving me flack,
Would have did the same thing.
they were sending their kids to Booker T. They weren't sending them to
I
Clark.
believe it. I believe it.
Facts. Yeah.
You giving me flack, but
yeah.
where your kid going?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
you sending your kid to McLean?
For sure.
Right.
Yeah. I got you.
Like, I know you get mad at me. Like, what you doing? How you can't even go to, you know, leave McLean to go to Booker T? Yeah, okay. I'm going to do what's best for me and what I got to do. You're going to do what's best for you and your kid and all that. So you're going to give me flack for leaving McLean to go to Booker T, but you're not sending your kid to McLean, but you're sending them to Booker T.
Exactly.
So I was just like, I ain't even listening to that.
I got you.
I just ignored all that, and I was just like,
Did you win the state championship at Booker T?
I won 2 of them.
Did you?
Back to back.
Got you. Okay, so give me your top 3 kids you coach while you was at Booker T, or even McLean, if you have a McLean kid. Give me your top 3 that you knew, you know, like, hey, these them dudes.
That's tough, man. That's tough, because I had some.
Give me 5 then. Give me 5. Give me 5.
I had some good players, man. I'm gonna give you my couple guys that I love coaching at McLean. Sean Jackson.
Yeah, for sure.
Sean
Yeah,
Jackson was, man. I mean, I think he was a sophomore and he was phenomenal. I mean, we went to a tournament out in Norman and he pretty much won it because he was just a baller. You know, I love coaching Sean Jackson. You know, I had a little guard at McLean too, man. That was just, I mean, we talk about tenacity. Rest in peace, name was Brandon Goff.
Yeah,
That's my
cousin.
little cousin.
Yeah.
Man, B Goff, that dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I remember when he was a freshman, he come in, he was like, man, I'm gonna be your guard, coach. I'm gonna be your guard. And he was a baller. I love coaching him because he just had that fight in him.
For sure.
And he didn't take nothing from nobody.
For sure.
Love coaching him. When I got to Booker T, you know, of course, Tyler Lockett was a kid that nobody expected him to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But he was so solid and so good. Just you know, he ran the team, did what he's supposed to do. Of course, Juwan Parker when I had him. Juwan was a sophomore. I mean, freshman, sophomore. His first 2 years, we won state championship. I mean, you know, and then his junior year, we probably should have, but we had one of my main guys get hurt. But he was really good for me. I had another kid that nobody expected him to be doing nothing, but Corey Billberry.
Yeah.
Man,
Real deal.
Billberry, I mean, like, nobody expected him to do what he did. He was one of the main reasons why we won the state championship. And then one more kid that I had at Booker T was Fabian Glasgow. I don't know if y'all remember him. He was long and athletic, came from Sand Springs. He ended up coming to Booker T late. He was a sophomore. His mom was Tasha Brown, that was a Hall of Famer over at McLean.
Okay, I got you.
And got a call like mid-year, his sophomore year. He was at Sand Springs, and it was like, Tasha Brown want her son to play for you. And I was like, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Got him over to Booker T. I mean, long and athletic. I mean, he was a Division I player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, out of high school, he went to Central Arkansas, then played at Western Kentucky. But I mean, the kid was really good.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's
So-
your top 5. That's cool. So You one person that's seen every generation from the 90s to now. So start from the 90s until 2025.
Okay.
And you can't name the 5 you just gave us. Give us 5 all time.
That you would, if you was the head coach,
Yeah, that you
would love the coach. Give
That
us
I saw in high school.
Yeah.
That I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, not depending on what they did
college,
going down the
Since
line.
you was a baby, you've been watching until now. Give me your
Yeah.
5 and a 6 man.
That you were you the head coach that you were one.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you the number one player. The number one player that I saw is Lee Mayberry.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Hey,
telling
they said Barry was better.
Yeah, they say Barry was better.
He probably I didn't see Barry in high school.
Okay. Okay.
So hey, I'm gonna tell you the way I saw Lee Mayberry. So I'm in 7th grade. My uncle Randy Seals, he was the dang like video guy for Central High School. He comes by the house. He's like, "Hey, Shea, he know I love basketball. Rogers got Lee Mayberry." I was like, "Who's Lee Mayberry? I don't know Lee Mayberry. Who's Lee Mayberry?" He said, "Just come, come watch the game. I got to record the game. Come check it out." And he was recording because he went to Central at the time. I said, "Oh, okay, I'll go." It was at Rogers. Then Central had a really good team. They had like D. Norton. They had some really good players, man. And they were going at it. Chris Mayberry, I think Lee Mayberry. I mean, they just going at it, going at it. Man, at the end of that damn game, Lee Mayberry took that ball. Lee Mayberry took that ball. He dribbled down the court, gave her like a turnaround, boom, knocked that damn shot down to win the game. And I was like, this dude right here. And I think he had like 40 that game too.
Wow. Okay.
And so at that time, I was always a Lee Mayberry fan.
So you got Lee at your 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who's your point guard?
Point guard.
It could be somebody from yesterday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all time.
My point guard, and these are the guys that I saw playing high school when I was young. I don't know if you guys remember Earl Jones. Y'all remember Earl Jones? Man, tell these dudes about Earl Jones. Earl Jones played at McLean, man.
Okay.
And he wasn't really a point guard, but he could score it. I mean, he could score it any kind of way you want it. My point guard would be Lee Mayberry.
Okay.
But Earl Jones would probably be my 2.
Okay. And then your 3.
Yeah, my 3. Let me look at my 3. Who was my 3? If I talk about a 3 in terms of what I've seen, man, I got to give it to Dumas.
Yeah.
Dumas.
I heard he was that guy.
like Dumas could step out and hit threes. Dumas dunking on you. I mean, you could put Dumas at the 2, at 3 or 4. You could put Dumas anywhere pretty much.
Okay.
So Dumas is one of those dudes that I saw when I was young, and I was just like, man, this dude is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just love the way he played because he was just reckless out there. Like he didn't care who was in front of him. He's going to go dunk the ball or he's going to shoot it.
So who's your 4?
My 4, just watching high school. Man, when I look at the 4, man, and when I was in college, I saw Ron Humphrey. Man, Ron Humphrey was a beast, man. I mean, you can't take nothing away from that dude, man.
Not at all. 2-sport athlete.
Man, when I would see Hump, man, that dude was dunking on dudes. He was just, I mean, he was a beast. I mean, of course, he was a McDonald's All-American.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
He was a monster. But and then
Your 5.
your 5 is Wayman Tisdale.
Yeah, hands down.
Hands down.
Yeah,
Hands down.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to go with a 6-man, James Hall was, one of those dudes because I watched James Hall when he was going against Ron Humphrey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And actually, the game that I saw, he dominated Ron Humphrey when I saw it. But, I can't, give him the 2 or the 3.
So you coach Shea with that team.
Yeah.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, I know he did.
10 seconds left.
Uh-huh.
You down 1. Who you drawing up a play for?
With that squad?
With that squad.
With that squad right there,
You got to get a bucket.
I'm going to have the ball in the hands of Lee Mayberry.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have him probably coming up a ball screen. I'm going to have him going downhill. but he's gonna find a way to get it to Wayman Tisdale.
Throw it up. Just throw it up.
Throw it up to him.
For sure.
Throw it up. Just find a way to get it to Wayman Tisdale around that basket because he's gonna finish.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
But I'm gonna spread it out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you, Shea, for coming. And before you leave, you was coaching college for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell the young kids that want to play at the Division I level what it takes to get there, and something that when you walk in the gym, you look for in a Division I player.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. Just coaching at the Division I level, I've noticed a change in a lot of kids. Some kids feel entitled. Some kids don't work as hard.
Yes, talking to the mic so they can really hear you.
There's some kids that feel entitled because they've been brought up in certain situations where, they've been pacified.
Facts.
No matter, whether it's AAU or high school, they've been pacified quite a bit. Mm-hmm. In order to play at the Division I level, number one, you got to be coachable. You got to work your tail off, and you always got to push yourself.
Right.
Like you can't ever, no matter what, ever feel like you know it all.
Right.
And I've kind of dealt with that, in recruiting. I've dealt with that with kids that I've coached. I've dealt with that with kids that I've come across. Mainly the thing about it is these kids right now got to understand, like, playing Division I basketball is a privilege.
Facts.
And you get an opportunity to do it, you got to take it. You see a lot of times these kids right now, they want to sit back and, I got this offer. I got this offer. I got that offer. I got this offer. Okay. They want to stack up these offers.
And put it on Twitter. Yeah.
The reality of it is, and I'm going to be honest with you, the reality of it is, if somebody else take that offer, that's no offer.
Exactly.
So you want to sit there and say, okay, I got 50 offers. I got 50 offers. Yeah, I got 50 offers. I can pick whoever I want.
No.
Yeah.
But then you call Tulsa or Oklahoma State or OU. If somebody else take that offer, you ain't got that offer.
Facts.
So you don't have 50 offers.
Facts.
You got to offer when they offer you.
Mm-hmm.
You got that then, and you may not. But if you feel like that's the best fit, you better take it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because offers don't mean nothing when they just telling you that you got an offer.
Facts.
If I commit right now, so if somebody say, hey, you got an offer, if I commit right now, you gonna take me?
You're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when you got an offer. If it's like, yeah, I'm gonna take you right now.
Yeah.
That means you've got an offer.
A committable offer.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of guys, they want to stack up and, put on Twitter or social media and say, I'm blessed to get my 23rd offer.
That's my biggest pet peeve. The when they count number. That's my biggest.
I got my
pet peeve.
23rd offer.
Yeah.
But in reality, if somebody else take that offer, you have no offer.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling the kids nowadays, man, hey, if you feel like that's a great fit for you, you feel like you have an opportunity, especially coming out of high school, you better take it.
Gotcha.
Because the game is totally different, especially with this transfer portal, just with all the stuff that's going on now. High school kids got to deal with transfer portal, JUCOs, and they got to deal with, because they're looked at as the last straw, mainly because they don't have the experience at
Exactly.
another level.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm telling every high school kid, you want to sit around and wait, for this school to offer, they may not never come. If you work your tail off and you have an opportunity to go play somewhere that you feel comfortable with and you feel like it's a good fit, you need to take that offer, because you may not have that offer in a week or two.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And so, I want to encourage every high school kid to bust their tail and, do what they got to do. But don't think, hey, I got to rack up offers just to kind of put it on social media to make me big time because I got all these offers, because that's not the reality of it.
Gotcha.
You can say I got all these offers, but it's not real.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for the advice. It's Talk of the Town 918. Thank you, guys.